The launch of a new C-Class is always an important occasion, not only because the C-Class is the most popular member of the three-pointed stars model range, but also because it's built right here in South Africa, both for local consumption and for export. This is the brand new W205 series C-Class, and it certainly looks like one of the most accomplished compact sedans Mercedes-Benz has ever built, except that it's not really that compact anymore.
Indeed, this latest C-Class is the biggest yet, and it also draws much of its styling inspiration from the much larger S-Class. That's not necessarily a bad thing. The new S-Class is considered by many, including its makers, to be the most advanced production car ever built, so sharing that DNA with a considerably more affordable sibling can only be to the benefit of the newcomer.
On first encountering the new C-Class, it's the size of the car that makes the biggest impression. There's more than a touch of S-Class about it, and in fact, it is probably more E-Class than C-Class in terms of size. Having said that, it has very nice flowing lines, and that's also emphasized by the fact that it has a drag coefficient of only 0.24.
The large grille looks more convincing here than on the compact A-Class, for instance, while the smooth, cleanly sculpted shape draws on both contemporary and classic Mercedes-Benz styling cues. Our test car featured the AMG line styling package, which places the emphasis on a sportier look, but more conservative buyers can also opt for the exclusive or the avant-garde exterior executions. Add the fact that the Mercedes-Benz engineers have been able to shave off a fair amount of flab compared to the previous model, and the new C's dynamic prospects appear promising.
C-Class buyers get to choose between 4 engines and 2 gearboxes. Our test car is the C220 CDI BlueTEC, which is a turbo diesel model, 2.2 litres, 400 newton meters of torque and 125 kilowatts of power. If you prefer petrol, you have 3 choices, starting off with a 1600, yes, a 1600cc engine producing 115 kilowatt. There's also a 2-litre turbocharged motor with 135 kilowatt on tap, and then a slightly up-tuned version of the same engine with 155 kilowatt of maximum power.
All the engines feature turbocharging in the interests of enhanced fuel economy and lower emissions. The C220 BlueTEC on test here, for instance, has a claimed combined cycle consumption figure of just 4 litres per 100 kilometres, which is quite astounding. We only drove the car for a morning during the local launch, but the trip computer suggested that we never got even close to that claim. So the 4-litre figure sounds a little optimistic.
One of the most appealing aspects of the new C-Class is the interior, which makes a big step forward compared to its predecessor. Mercedes-Benz has made the most of the larger form factor of the car to create a space that's elegant and comfortable, with a lot of bells and whistles, which are easily accessible via truly intuitive ergonomics. And for once, Mercedes-Benz has also caught up with the competition as far as the infotainment system is concerned. A very nice color screen, very easy to operate, and even a little touchpad to make things a little bit easier.
There's a strong tactile appeal to the shapes and surfaces, while the thoughtfully executed switchgear exudes both quality and exclusivity. Put it this way, you feel that you're behind the wheel of something special. As for technology, the C-Class is outfitted with many of the advanced systems first introduced in the S-Class, including driver fatigue monitoring, lane departure monitoring, active braking assistance and active parking. Indeed, you'll need a pretty high IQ to fully understand all the assistance systems on offer. Considering its larger exterior, it should also come as no surprise that the interior is roomier, and especially for rear passengers. At 480 litres, the boot is one of the biggest too. The optional intelligent LED headlights adjust automatically, while a heads-up display projects key information in the driver's field of vision.
Because the new C-Class is so much bigger than its predecessor, you'd be forgiven for expecting a car that might feel large and ponderous on the road, but in fact, quite the opposite is true. This car feels nimble, deft and agile, which is quite at odds with what you see from the outside. Of course, one should remember that they've trimmed almost 100 kilograms off the weight of this car. And not only that, but the centre of gravity is lower, and the result is a car that reacts to input and to power just so much more incisively than before. It really is actually the road manners that impresses most.
Remember, we're talking a mainstream turbo-diesel-powered C-Class here, but even so, the new sedan delivers an unexpectedly engaging driving experience. The reduced curb mass aside, the all-new falling front suspension is definitely part of the reason why the new C feels so much more agile and involving than expected. At 7.7 seconds for the 0 to 100 km/h dash, the C220 BlueTEC is swift enough, while the 234 km/h top speed is way more than anybody will ever need.
The competition in the so-called premium compact segment has never been fiercer, with Audi, BMW and Mercedes-Benz all vying for the biggest slice of the pie. The Mercedes-Benz has always been the conservative choice in that segment. The brand new W205 C-Class recalibrates it and comes up with a car that shines in almost all areas, and especially on the dynamic front. It'll certainly please the brand faithful, but the question is whether it'll persuade A4 and 3 Series owners to switch camps.
A willing but efficient turbo-diesel engine, sleek aerodynamics, reduced weight and all-new suspension make for an engaging driving experience. Add high-tech, luxury and quality to the mix and you have one of the best C-Class generations yet, despite the extra size and fuel consumption claims that seem somewhat optimistic.